is so bad. You just gotta... Come on. Whoa.
Having spoken, the doomsayer departs.
Come on.
Why don't you get Billy dressed? I'll take him into town with me. Hit the store before it gets all bought out.
How do you folks hold up in the storm?
Big insurance day.
Sorry to hear that.
What's going on? It's death.
Something in the mist! Shut the doors! Shut the doors!
The only way we're going to help ourselves is to seek rescue.
Tie this around your waist.
What for?
It'll let us know you got at least 300 feet.
There's nothing out there. Nothing in the mist.
What if you're wrong?
Then I guess the joke would be on me.
It is time to take sides. Read the good book. It calls for blood.
Guys, I hear something.
Are those bugs?
Not like any I've ever seen. The entire front of this store is plate glass.
Promise you won't let the monsters get me.
What are you guys messing with up there?
I thought that there were other dimensions. They wanted to try and make a window.
Well, maybe your window turned out to be a door.
Who she's gonna sacrifice to make it all better?
We want the boy.
You try it.
Kill him!
Welcome to Real Dead.
Hey everyone, this is Mike,
And this is Josh.
and we are
real dead. Still love the name, Mike. I'm still in love with the name.
yeah. It's. I think it's us. That's for
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about a movie. Oh crap! I didn't write down what year this came out, but I think what is it? 2007.
2007. Yes.
Oh, I was
2007.
right. And it's called The Mist. It's a Stephen King movie. Well, it's based on one of his, novels. It is rated R. I remember seeing this movie not in a theater, but I remember as soon as it came out, I went and rented it at Family Video and really enjoyed it. And
You want to give the synopsis? You want me to go ahead and give the synopsis?
Do you have any memory of seeing this any point, Mike?
No, absolutely. This is another one. Just like American Psycho, this was the first time I'd seen this one. And what I was thinking about it was not the same movie. I was thinking of something totally different. I was thinking of something more along like The Fog, but I had not seen this, so it was a pleasant surprise for me. Are you there?
You totally went black screen.
Oh, my end, I'm okay.
Oh, on my end, you were like froze. It wasn't froze. It just went black screen and I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. So, it was a pleasant surprise for me. I'd never seen it before. I kept thinking it was more like something like The Fog, but of course it wasn't. So, I was pleasantly surprised with this.
Yeah, you were kind of like, oh, The Mist. Like I felt like you weren't really excited about to review this movie.
I wasn't until I saw the score, and I was like, well, it's pretty decent. And I read the story on it, and then I went ahead and watched the trailer on it, and the trailer was pretty good. And I was like, yeah, I'll check this out.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and give that. Or do you want to do the Rotten Tomato score, or do you want to do the?
Well, I've actually got the synopsis. If we go through the synopsis real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says after a powerful storm damages their main home, David Drayton, Thomas Jane, and his young son head into town to gather food and supplies. Soon afterwards, a thick fog rolls in and engulfs the town, trapping the Draytons and others in the grocery store. Terror mounts as deadly creatures reveal themselves outside, but that may be nothing compared to the threat within, where a zealot, Marcia Harden
Yeah,
falls for a sacrifice.
she does, man.
She is rough in this movie.
She flew right out of a cuckoo
If you're
nest.
religious, you may not be religious after watching this movie. She is such a Bible thumper on the head and just making crazy crap up that wasn't biblical at all. But yeah.
So now, do you have the Rotten Tomatoes score, Mike?
Yeah, let me show that here too. And it got a 72 from the critics and a 65 from the audience. So pretty close in the score. And like you said, it is 2 hours and 5 minutes. I do think they could have cut that down a little bit.
Little long.
And but it was R rated, like you said, in 2007.
Yep. And like I said, I remember renting this. So yeah, it starts off where the main character, which I don't remember his name, I just know it's Thomas Jane, and he's like painting all these cool photos. You see the thing in the background where he paints like movie posters and stuff, I guess. I don't know what he does. But there's like a big storm and a tree crashes through his window, and like a neighbor's tree crashes on his like boat dock, and you can tell that there's tension between the neighbor and him over things that have happened in this neighborhood. But he ends up taking this neighbor over to the store with him and his son. The wife stays home. And so the neighbor, the dad, and the son head off to the lumber yard or the store to get some supplies to help fix up their home. And the power's out too, so they wanted to get some extra things because the power's out. And you see the before that happens though, the wife and the husband are looking off in the distance, and there is this like thick fog mist coming up, and it looks pretty ominous, Mike.
Yep.
So they end up going to town. You can kind of tell, man, there's definitely some tension between these neighbors, man. No doubt about that. I guess they sued each other at one point in time. I don't know the whole background. But they end up going into this store, and it's kind of like a small town, you know. And, of course, I think it's in Maine, of course, a small town in Maine. And they're in there talking to people, and you can tell everybody knows each other and stuff. They made that, you know, pretty apparent in this town. You meet, like, new characters. And I do want to say, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, especially if you're a fan of the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead, there are actors in this that went later on after this into The Walking Dead. And it's the guy that plays Dale, the woman that plays Carol is in this, and the woman that plays Andrea is in this as well. And they're decent in it. You know, they're main characters except for the Carol lady. She's not really as main character as Dale and Andrea, and I will call them that. So just know that because I don't know their names in this movie. But the acting in this movie is sus, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it just is, but it's not horrible.
It's not. I got to turn it off. It's that bad, but it's not at a quality acting cast.
It is.
A lot of these actors were early on in their careers, and they're getting a break in this movie.
Right. Sure. But the thing I really like is everybody's in there just kind of talking and stuff, and there's a lot of people in this store, Mike. All of a sudden, as they're driving there, all these army vehicles are just driving by fast, and they're like, whoa. And all of a sudden, while they're in the store, the sirens go off. And everybody's like, what's going on? Like, what is this? That part is alarming to me because, like, no one knows what's going on, including we don't know what's going on. So how did you feel about that scene, Mike?
Yeah, it kind of, in all honesty, it kind of reminded me of The Walking Dead. Because, I mean, other than it was a storm coming in, you didn't know what was inside the storm. I kind of thought immediately the mist is going to be like the fog and it'd be people or something like from in the 80s and John Carpenter. But, I've never seen The Fog. What?
So, nope.
Oh, man, The Exorcist and now The Fog. You hadn't seen that? Okay. I never saw American Psycho till you told me about it. So,
right.
But yeah, it's the storm starts coming in. The people in there's 30, 40 people in this grocery store, and things start happening, and they end up locking it up. And
one lady gets out.
Huh?
one lady leaves.
The lady Carol.
Yeah.
She's begging everybody to because there's a guy that came running while they're in the store. This is how it starts off. It's kind of scary. A guy comes running. What's that guy's name?
Dale.
Okay.
That's not
Dale,
his name in the movie, but it's his name on Walking Dead.
Dale from The Walking Dead comes running into the store, and he's got blood on him and stuff, and he's like, I saw something's out there, something's got him, blah, blah, blah. And nobody really believes it. Next thing you know, they go back into the back of the store, and that's where you kind of see the a creature for the first time. It comes in and ends up taking out a young guy. Is it the Shermanator, you said, right?
Yeah, the Shermanator guy. Dude, that thing grabbed him and just ripped a chunk of his skin off, dude.
Yeah, now I did think that part, that's really, in my opinion, the only one that was kind of cheesy was the initial one, because it looked like this octopus tentacles coming in, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Well,
and I was like,
the CG of this movie was...
I mean, it's 2007, too.
Well, dude, the CGI and freaking Terminator 2 looked great in, 91? So,
yeah, there's a lot different than money probably spent on these, too, though.
But yeah, the CGI on this is iffy, but it still looks feasible to me. It still looks all right. But yeah, you're right. That tentacle creature is vicious. They end up chopping off an arm of it. And so it's kind of proof. Some people came back and didn't believe the story. So they had to show it to them. And then they're like, yep, we believe it now. And all this is going on. There's this lady that she just keeps like instead of actually helping, she's in a closet, like talking to God or whatever she's doing, instead of like everybody else is trying to like secure this place. And she's off doing whatever, not helping at all, actually. And
she's thinking the Black Plague is coming. It's like the plague, and it's
well, she's like, oh, all this stuff happened in the Bible. Like she said that. Like they send these bugs because like these bugs end up coming.
Yeah, I mean, so there are signs there. She just like runs with it though.
Yeah, misinterprets it.
And some things do line up with what she was saying. And to me, that's what is good about this movie, is it plays with the psychological heart of the people, start dividing into groups, and they start going against each other and end up hurting each other.
Yep.
And so, and then the same, what's funny is the same two characters right off the very beginning of it, the neighbor and then the Mr. Drayton, I don't remember his first name. They're the ones that have the riff at the beginning, and the guy's tree falls on his boathouse, and they drive there, and then all of a sudden in the grocery store they start riffing again, because one is saying there's something out there and it's killing people. The other one thinks it's a big joke and they're trying to make him look bad, embarrassing, and it's like two different groups right off the bat.
Well, and he takes a group of people out there, and they're like, "We're going," and we don't know whatever happened to them. We assume they all died.
Yep.
It was like a group of like 6 or 7 people that followed this guy out. And then this other guy went with him that was a part of them, and they tied a rope to him, and he goes, oh, I want to get this guy's shotgun out of his truck. Well, this guy gets ripped in half. They pull half of his body back, and I was like, whoa, man. Yeah. That's pretty good. And then all these bugs come up to the glass, and then these bigger creatures come and try to eat those bugs. And it ends up breaking the glass. Chaos erupts, Mike, at this point, because they're trying to kill him with fire. A guy lights himself on freaking fire like an idiot. And one of these bugs stings this girl in the neck, and her whole face like blows up and she dies. And then this lady, to justify her even further, the religious nut, that thing flies on her and she starts saying something. I don't know. And she was like saying something. And then the bug leaves her. So she's like, oh, I'm protected. I can't die. Like, basically, she's thinking she can't die at this point. And that she's like, I don't know what she thinks. But, so the chaos erupts. They get this under control. They try to put a board up over the hole. So there's bigger creatures now. Almost look like a pterodactyl. I mean, these are like bigger creatures. And people are getting ripped apart. But this guy that got burnt up, they want to help him. And so Thomas Jane and a couple of these other guys, and they do have a handgun, because the lady, Andrea, the lady that plays Andrea, she had a gun in her purse, and they end up having only 10 bullets for it, though. So the one guy, this kind of nerdy guy, shorter guy, like steps up and says, no, I'm good. I won a state championship in 1994 at target practice shooting, so I'm a good shot or whatever. And so they end up going over there with some makeshift spears and weapons, and to go get medicine and stuff, because there's a pharmacy like right next door to this. They go over there, dude, and this is my favorite scenes here. They go over there and they're looking around, they're trying to find it. This old lady goes with them too, because she's tough, this old lady. And as you're looking and as you're noticing, you kind of see like it's covered in something, and you kind of see cobwebs and stuff, and you're like, okay, what's going on? And then eventually they shine a light and you see all these people in the ceilings, like wrapped in cobwebs. And then there's these giant spiders that look cool. And when they shoot their webbing, it's like acid. Like when it wraps around you, it'll like just singe your arm basically right off. And they look on the wall and there's this army guy that they talked to earlier. And they're trying to get him down. And all of a sudden you see his face is like bubbling. Oh, Mike, this part was brutal. And then they see his shirt opens up and just all these bubbles, and he's like, I feel him. And then he like, all these spiders start pulling out of his mouth, and then his body drops on the ground and it just explodes with spiders. And it is sick. Yeah. What did you think of that part, Mike?
That was my favorite part of the whole, the movie pretty much, other than the ending, is them going over there. So then, a lot of them die. And then they finally try to get back to the grocery store, and they do let them back in this time. Then they try to get a group together inside because they can tell that the religious part of it's getting a bigger following. They say, we got to get out of here. Yeah. So they try to get a group together, and they're trying to leave, and they're trying to take a few supplies with them. And then that religious zealot tries to stop them.
Well, and it's the reason that the issue is she's going to start sacrificing these people because
she wants the little boys to sacrifice. She wants to do like they did in the Bible with sacrificing the son. Right. And she wants to sacrifice. They'd already killed a guy earlier, one of the MPs, the police officers there, one of the other military guys.
Yeah, one of the army guys.
Yeah, we forgot to tell that story that he talks about what happened was it was a military issue that these scientists came in and opened up a portal in another dimension that came in, and all this mist came in, and these creatures came in with it from another dimension. Yep. So they are the reason for everything. The military, the military was behind it. So they stab him and just throw him out there, and this huge monster comes and takes care of him. Yep. But now they're ready to get out of there. They said, hey, we'd rather die outside of here than inside this building. Right. That lady's trying to stop them. And then the little nerdy guy with the gun that's a good shot, he shoots the lady because she was trying to come after. Her and the whole group was going to come after the little boy.
The son, yeah. Yep.
And then he plants one right between her eyes. Yeah. She hits the ground, and there's just this huge puddle of blood.
And all of her supporters at that time
they left.
They didn't have her back no more.
That's right. They left. And so this is the great part of the movie, I think. They get in the car. They know they only have so much gas. And he said, we're just going to drive and try to go back home. They go back to their house. His wife is caught up in the web too. She's gone. That's a pretty emotional part.
She's dead. Yep.
Yep. And then he says, we're just going to drive until we run out of gas. And as they drive away, I thought I saw signs that said Portland. So I don't know. I think
maybe I'm wrong.
But maybe there's a Portland, Maine too. I don't know. There may be another Portland up there. So they start driving off, and then they finally run out of gas. And this is a pretty emotional part of the movie. He looks down, and they got 4 bullets, and there's 5 people in the car. So you knew they had already made the pact that this is it. And the father, the dad, is going to shoot everybody. And then it's a great part of the movie that they kind of pan away, and they're looking back at the vehicle, and all of a sudden you hear pop, 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 pop. And then you hear him screaming, and they show him in the car, and there's blood everywhere. He's shot them all. And this is what to me made the movie. You feel bad for the guy, and then he's like, come on, come get me. And he gets out of the car, and he's hoping this beast would come and kill him. Oh, earlier they had finally saw the big beast with the tentacles walked over him like some humongous beast. I mean, earlier they saw it driving.
Right.
and it was like pounding the whole ground. The whole car was shaking. But so he thought that beast was going to kill him. He got out of it. You know, he was like ready for it. And then the next thing you know, the kind of mist kind of separates a little bit, and you see a giant tank and the military coming through.
Yep, burning stuff, killing stuff.
They're killing stuff. The military's coming. And then you see these vehicles riding by that's got families in them, little kids in them. And then who do they see, Josh?
Carol. With
the
her
lady
kids.
At the very beginning that asked them all, hell, help me get out of here. None of them would help her.
And
she got out and got to her kids, and they ended up saving her kids.
Right. Well, the thing I was thinking how she did that is initially when the fog was, that's when the fog literally just rolled in. Maybe somehow she beat it. Like it wasn't fully in yet. You know what I mean? That'd be the only thing I could say that's how she beat it. But yeah, the ending is powerful. It's shocking when you first watch it, no doubt.
It's sad. It's very sad. It's a very sad movie the way it ends, but you're like, that's to me what made the movie great. I mean, it wasn't like we got away and we survived. I mean, it was powerful in the emotions of it.
Yep, I agree.
The psychological part of it again, where the people were battling each other, good and evil, and picking sides. And the mental part of this, like I could put myself in that guy's place and saying, you know what, I'm not going to let these things rip my family apart. I gotta go myself before I let them do it.
Right.
And then come to find out, here goes the military rides right by.
Yep. And it's crazy. So your favorite scene was what? My favorite scene was the spider scene in a pharmacy.
Same thing for me, Josh. I know we're on the same page on that. I do like, you didn't get to see the kill, but like you said earlier, when they drug the body back and all you saw was half of it.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild too. So that was another favorite.
I liked what he said. I liked what that biker guy said to that lady. He goes, lady, I believe in God too, but I just don't think he's an asshole like you, or think he's wanting, or thinking he's a bloodthirsty asshole like you think, or something like that.
I enjoyed that too.
But no, I say, you know, for me, I'll give my rating, Mike. I'm going to say this is, I'm going to say The Mist is a 2.5 for me.
Okay.
Enjoyable, but not highly enjoyable. I mean, it's enjoyable, but it's not like I'm going to put it on a bunch like American Psycho I could watch several times. This is like maybe once every couple of years of viewing or something like that. I'll say 2.5 but it's an enjoyable movie though. It's an enjoyable movie.
Yeah, I'm glad I watched it, to be honest with you. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. It's one of those I'll probably watch, once ever now, maybe once every 4 or 5 years. I don't know how many more of those I have, but it's one of those I'd see every few years versus watch all the time. Or if it's on and it's playing in the background while I'm doing something, I'd watch it. I would give this one, in my opinion, a 2.75 is my score on it, but still worth watching. A 72 from the critics, a 65 out of 100 from the audience. So it's still a pretty decent score overall.
Definitely. And if you need to check this movie out if you haven't seen it. So,
so please tell us what you think. Have you seen it before? Do you like it or not? Please like, comment, subscribe if you like what we're doing on this channel, and definitely check us out on Facebook. Join our community. We're always posting like movie stuff and collectible stuff in horror genre. Yeah. We'd love to see you guys over there.
Yes, no doubt. See you guys.
All right, have a good one, Josh.
Bye.